In 1992, Colorado voters added significant restrictions to the authority of elected officials to raise and keep tax dollars to the state constitution. The provision, known as TABOR, requires voter approval for any tax increase. Additionally, TABOR prohibits certain types of taxes and sets guidelines for elections. It also restricts how much revenue the government can collect each year. The limit on revenue collections, also called a cap, allows state tax collections to grow by inflation and population each year. If Colorado takes in more taxes and fees than the revenue cap allows, the state can't keep or use that money. Instead, taxpayers receive TABOR rebates. The initial TABOR revenue cap was applied to the prior year's revenue collection, which created a ratchet-down effect. If economies grew in straight lines, this wouldn't be a problem. But they don't. There are peaks and valleys in revenue collections that mirror the peaks and valleys of economic cycles. This meant that in a year after revenue fell, the rebound in revenue was restricted by a lower starting point. This had the impact of locking in recession-level spending for the state. Because of the revenue cap, the state was restricted from investing billions in tax collections over the years, including nearly $1 billion in 2001. When revenue exceeds the cap, voters can choose to let their money be used for public investments. These elections are often referred to as debrucing. Voters in many cities and almost all counties and school districts have voted to debruce. In 2005, voters approved a referred measure called Referendum C to temporarily remove the cap on state revenue collections for 5 years, allowing the state to keep and invest every dollar it collected from 2006 through 2010. In addition to this TABOR timeout, Ref C also fixed the ratchet-down effect by having the revenue limit grow starting from the prior year's revenue limit, not the prior year's revenue collection. Ref C kept the state from ratcheting down during the 2008 recession. It also allowed the state to keep and invest the money for dedicated areas, including K-12 education, higher education, healthcare, firefighter and police retirement plans, and transportation. In 2015, the state exceeded the new cap, requiring about $170 million in TABOR rebates. The state is also projected to exceed the Ref C cap and require $310 million in TABOR rebates in 2019, unless voters approve a debrucing measure. Proposition CC, not to be confused with Ref C, will ask voters if the state can permanently keep and invest the revenue it collects above the current cap. Prop CC would remove the revenue limitation of TABOR while keeping all other provisions of TABOR in place. This video was brought to you by the Colorado Fiscal Institute.